So, we've all been talking nonstop about how to use AI. But what if that's the wrong question? Today, we're going to shift our focus just a little bit, but it makes all the difference. We're not just talking about using AI, but how to actually think with it. It's the secret sauce that turns generic AI output into real, tangible, profitable results. Let's get into it.
Okay, and to kick things off, I want to pull a quote from a pretty unexpected source, a 17th century samurai. This is Miyamoto Musashi, maybe the greatest swordsman who ever lived. And his whole philosophy wasn't about having the fanciest sword moves, it was about this one idea. You win or lose the duel before it even starts. It all comes down to how clearly you see the situation. And believe it or not, when it comes to AI, that battlefield, it's right between your ears.
And right here, this is the main idea for our whole conversation today. The single biggest reason AI projects crash and burn, or why you get those terrible, bland responses from ChatGPT, it's not the AI's fault. It's us. It's the way our brains are wired to take shortcuts, and those shortcuts lead straight to wasted money, wasted time, and honestly, just a lot of disappointment. So what do we do about it? Well, we take a page out of Musashi's book. We adopt a warrior's mindset. That means we prepare our minds first. We learn to see the challenge for what it really is before we ever type a single word into a prompt. I mean, just look at these common reasons for failure. You'll notice a pattern here. Not a single one of them is a tech problem. They're all thinking problems. The project was doomed from the start because the problem was fuzzy. The strategy was basically a guess. Somebody saw a cool demo and bought the software without knowing what they'd actually do with it. These are all failures of perception. The game was lost long before anyone hit enter. To really get why we keep making these kinds of mistakes, we have to talk about the work of a Nobel Prize winner named Daniel Kahneman. He figured out that our brains have these two completely different ways of operating. You could call them two different systems for thinking. And one of them, our default system, is what constantly gets us into trouble, especially with something as complex as AI. So here they are. You've got System 1 and System 2. System 1 is your fast brain. It's automatic, it's your gut instinct. It feels like a flash of insight. And it's great for, tying your shoes or driving a familiar road. But when things get complicated, it's super error-prone. Then you've got System 2. This is your slow, methodical, analytical brain. It's effortful. It actually takes energy to use it, but it's incredibly accurate. Almost every bad AI prompt or failed project comes from us using our fast, lazy System 1 brain when the problem really, really needed the slow, deliberate power of System 2. All right, let's put your System 1 to the test right now. I'm going to give you a little brain teaser. Just go with the very first answer that pops into your head. Don't think too hard. Ready? A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs exactly $1 more than the ball. So, how much does the ball cost? I'm willing to bet an answer just jumped right into your mind. If you thought 10 cents, don't worry, you are in very good company. That was your System 1 giving you a quick, easy, and wrong answer. See, if the ball was 10 cents, the bat would be $1.10, and the total would be $1.20. Nope, the right answer is 5 cents. The bat is $1.05, and together, they're $1.10. What happened is your brain swapped the hard question for an easier one without you even noticing. And this little puzzle brings us right back to AI. That lazy, generic prompt you type into the machine, it's the exact same mental mistake as the bat and ball problem. It's a System 1 output. You tossed a fuzzy, uninspected thought at the AI, and, surprise, you got a fuzzy, unhelpful answer back. The problem wasn't the tool. It was the quality of the thinking that came before the prompt. Okay, so the solution is pretty clear, right? We have to find ways to force ourselves out of that lazy System 1 and into our powerful analytical System 2 brain. And the way we do that is by using structured frameworks. Think of them as an operating system for clear thinking. They help us define the problem completely before we even dream of designing a solution. Our first tool is a classic, the Socratic Questions. Before you even start thinking about an AI solution for some big idea, you have to run it through this gauntlet. This isn't just about doing your homework. It's about stress testing the idea itself. It forces you to get brutally honest about what the problem is, why you think it's the problem, what proof you actually have, and what could go wrong. It's a fantastic filter for weeding out bad ideas before they suck up all your time and money. Now, if an idea survives that first test, we bring out our next tool to really map out the problem. It's called the SSROC canvas. This is how you transform a vague complaint like, ugh, our supply chain is so inefficient, into a rock-solid project brief. You define the situation with hard numbers. You name the specific stumbling block. You justify the rationale. Why now? You define a measurable outcome, and you list every single constraint. You do this, and suddenly, the problem isn't so scary anymore. A problem well-defined is a problem half-solved. So once we've used our System 2 brain to get super clear on the problem, the next step is to communicate that problem with precision. And this applies to everything, whether you're writing a prompt for an AI or you're briefing your team on a new initiative. We've all done this, right? You go to ChatGPT and type something like, write a cover letter for a marketing job. This is the perfect example of a System 1 prompt. It's lazy, it has zero context, and it is absolutely guaranteed to give you back something so generic and boring that it's completely useless. This is the 10-cents answer of the AI world. Now, look at the night and day difference when we apply a System 2 framework. This one's called craft. We give it context. I'm a marketing student who just went to an AI conference. We give the AI a role to play. Act like a senior content strategist. We give it a crystal clear ask. We specify the format we want. And we even define the tone. The huge leap in quality between that first prompt and this one has nothing to do with being an AI expert. It's just about the quality of the thinking you do before you ask. Okay, this is where it all comes together. This is where the rubber meets the road. All this deliberate, structured thinking isn't just a mental exercise to feel smarter. It's how you translate clear thinking directly into cold, hard cash for a business. Let's run through a quick example. Let's say we have a logistics company, Acme Inc. They do about $50 million a year in revenue, and after going through those frameworks we just talked about, they've zeroed in on a really clear, well-defined problem they want to solve with AI. So, step 1. We figure out the addressable cost base. Now, this isn't their total spending. It's the slice of their costs that AI can actually, realistically, have an impact on. For the logistics industry, that's roughly 42% of their costs. So for Acme, we're talking about a $21 million chunk of their business. That's our battlefield. Now, within that $21 million, we have to be realistic. No company is 100% efficient. There's always some waste baked into the system. Based on industry data, we can pretty safely estimate about 20% of those costs are tied up in some kind of inefficiency. So that gives us our target, an inefficiency pool of $4.2 million. That's the money being left on the table. And finally, we get to the AI capture rate. This is the big one. How much of that $4.2 million in waste can our AI solution realistically get rid of? Let's be conservative and say it can capture 60% of that waste. Well, that gives us an annual savings of over $2.5 million. That is how you go from a fuzzy idea to a business case you can take to the board. And here we are, full circle back to our samurai friend, Musashi. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? From one thing, know 10,000 things. Learning these frameworks like SSROC or craft, it's not really about just writing better prompts. It's about learning the one thing, the master skill of how to think with clarity and purpose. And once you have that, you can apply it to literally 10,000 different challenges. And look, this isn't just some nice theory. The World Economic Forum, in their latest report on the future of jobs, they ranked analytical thinking as the single most important skill for the rest of this decade. It's ranked higher than AI literacy, higher than coding, higher than data science. The future doesn't belong to people who can just use AI. It belongs to the people who can direct it with sharp, rigorous analytical thinking. So, if you take one thing away from our time today, let it be this. The bottleneck is never the technology. It's the quality of our thinking. The next time you're facing a tough problem, just remember that warrior's mindset. Slow down, see the battlefield clearly, and think before you act. So my question to you is, what problem will you solve first?